Hi there. In today's video, I'm going to show you the 5 streams of income that I created for myself by age 30 and how one of them ended up becoming an 8-figure company. But before we get started, I would really appreciate if you can like this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. All right, before we get started with the 5 streams of income, I think it's a good idea for me to give you a little bit of my backstory so you understand how I made my decisions and in what context I made my decisions, so it helps you understand my viewpoint, okay? So I grew up in an immigrant family. My father left us and my sister and my mom to migrate to the United States with the hopes of building a better life for us. And that decision separated us for over 10 years, right? So by the time we reunited, I was almost 18 years old, and I came to the United States without speaking a word of English, pretty much. Finished high school here and went to college and studied a degree that I really didn't know much about, right? So I didn't know anything about the majors, what majors to choose and what minor to choose and all that stuff, and pretty much what to do. I didn't really know what to do with myself. So I just took a friend's advice, and he said that, hey, you know, Oz, you have an analytical brain, so it could be a good idea for you to study life sciences. So I took that advice and, majored in biology and added chemistry. The problem was that I wasn't really passionate about any one of those, right? But I didn't know any better. I didn't have much of a guidance from anyone. It's not because I'm trying to blame someone for not giving me guidance. It's just my lack of understanding of myself. So I didn't do enough soul searching, I guess, to learn more about what I want from the life. So after I graduated, I just found out that my only options for making money was working at a laboratory for $15 an hour. That was not acceptable to me. Maybe it was acceptable to many college graduates, because the problem was that I grew up in a poor family. Our family got separated because of the financial situation. It took us like a decade to get reunited. Even after that, we found out that my father was filing for bankruptcy, and then we had to work really hard, me and my sister. We had worked 2-3 jobs. So after college, I was still broke, and I hated that feeling. I just didn't want to go through it anymore. So my main driver for success was to make more money, because I was kind of tired of working to pretty much make a living and help the family out, right? So after college, since I wasn't going to work at the laboratory, I found out pretty fast that the only way to make a lot of money for a college graduate with no skills is to get a sales job. The problem was that no one wanted to hire me because I didn't have any sales skills. I haven't sold anything. I had a broken English, but one guy gave me an opportunity, and to this day, I'm still grateful for whatever he's seen in me. And he gave me a job at a corporate office selling credit card processing, pretty much helping businesses accept credit cards. I was a salesperson. Within 2 years, I enrolled about 250 clients for that company. What I did not understand about my compensation was that I was building a residual portfolio as well. So that brings me to my first income stream. So I was in sales, 100% commission sales job. But every client that I acquired for the company that I was working for, they were paying me a portion of that client's profits every single month. So in a relatively short amount of time, in about 2 years, I built up a nice portfolio of residual income that used to pay me about $2,000 to $3,000 a month, which is a lot, right? So it's like totally passive income. I don't really need to do any maintenance on that. The customer service of those clients are handled by the corporate support system, their customer support and all that stuff. So I decided to leave that job because it wasn't giving me enough income, and I think it was time for me to make the next move. So after job hopping a few times, I started working in New York City, right? Right before this period, we bought our first home. Me and my wife, we worked really hard, saved up, bought our first home for ourselves. So it's not a source of income. It's just our primary residence at that point back in the time. And then I'm learning more about real estate at that point. So we have this residual coming from the credit card processing company. I've been attending the courses from like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Many of you guys might know that. He was talking about the importance of like passive income through real estate. So my wife and I, we decided that it would be a good idea for us to save up some money to buy a real estate property. What we didn't know, that buying a real estate property, like an income property, requires at least 20-25% down payment. And most of the places that were near us, that was a lot of money. Like if you're buying a $500,000 multifamily home, 20% of that is like $100,000. And there was no way that we were going to save up $100,000 cash with our current income at that point. There's just no way, right? So we started looking for a better territory for us. And then we found a place in Eastern Pennsylvania. The average house prices were about anywhere from 70,000 to 150,000. So then that was perfect because we had about $25,000 saved up at that point. And then we bought our first property there for $72,000. It was a 3-family home, and that was yielding us $1,000 a month. And just, after the expenses, just clean profit. Later, I found out that that's an amazing profit proportion when it comes to the real estate investment. Many people would be okay with making a few $100s clear after everything, but with that property, we just got lucky, I guess, and we're making about $1,000 a month. So that was my second income stream. And since we noticed that it's really sweet, what we ended up doing is I sold my residual portfolio. Yeah, this is something that I didn't know either, but you can sell your book of business back to the corporation because, a lot of businesses were already leaving that company and going to another processor. So my portfolio was getting smaller and smaller. And I figured that, that's not a good way to go because I'm not adding new clients on that portfolio. I'm not in that company anymore. So it's better for me to sell it back to the company. I sold my portfolio, got about $24,000. I don't remember the exact amount, like somewhere in low 20s. And that allowed us to buy our second rental property in the same geographic location because the price point was just perfect for us. I know some people say, hey, Oz, well, you could have actually gotten the house with 0% down and all of that. But back then, I didn't know any of that, right? I didn't really know like creative financing options when it comes to real estate. All I knew is that, hey, you need 20-25% down of the purchase price. That's how you buy a rental property. That's how we gathered the down payment for our second rental property. We bought a 4-family home, and after all said and done, that was yielding us about $1,500 of passive income, which was amazing because combined with the first real estate property, that was $2,500 per month, and that was enough to help us pay our mortgage and also leave us some money for other expenses. So for the first time in my life, I was feeling like I was getting ahead in life, that some things were happening. At this time, I'm at a corporate office in New York City. I'm making about $100,000. I have 2 rental properties. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. But at that time, I'm getting introduced to entrepreneurship. In New York City, that was the first time I got exposed to big money. One day, we were sitting at a bar with a friend of mine, and on the next table, there were a few guys, and they were having amazing fun, and they were ordering like big bottles and all that stuff. And we thought we're making good money, and these guys are spending probably 4 times than what we could spend. And I was wondering what they do, and I approached them and started talking and all that stuff. And they told me that they work in Wall Street, so they make a lot of money. When they told me how much money they make on a monthly basis, it was pretty much a scene very similar to The Wolf of Wall Street. The guy meets Jordan Belfort at a diner, and Jordan tells him that, hey, I make whatever, $70,000 a month. And it's the other guy's like his mind is boggled, and he can't even imagine the possibility of making that much money.
You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you.
So that was me. That's when I noticed that if you become a business owner, or if you work for an opportunity that pays you a lot more, the sky is the limit. So that's when I noticed very little, when I'm talking about my finances, like the amount of money that I'm making. And I thought it was time for me to make a shift. So I started looking for side businesses. So now I had the credit card processing income going. That's the first one. Second one is real estate. Now the third one, I decided to start an Amazon business. I thought that was going to be a great deal because I was reading up online about it. Everyone was talking about starting a business on Amazon. I started the Amazon business. I found like a couple of different products on beauty department, products that usually cater to females, anti-wrinkle creams and all that, which I don't know a lot about, but I was just doing research and I thought that would sell. And it ended up becoming an income source. It worked out really good. I was making money, but soon I found out that Amazon businesses require a lot of maintenance. You can't just set it and forget it because some other competition repeats pretty much. They copy the same exact product that you have, and they can just keep selling the same thing. and then you have more people buy another stuff that just comes out. It's more fashionable, so you have to change your product according to that, or you need to have like a large portfolio of products. Then you need to deal with shipping sometimes, and it wouldn't go through the customer reviews and all of that. It's just becoming more headache than the income that it provides. So I had to stop that business, but that was my 4 sources of income. But through this process, I was not seeing an opportunity that was right in front of me. At that time, I was in New York City selling business loans. Like I was helping business owners get access to capital, and each deal just got bigger and bigger on the paycheck that I was getting. And one pattern I was noticing is that the people that I helped get funding, for example, there was a restaurant that I would get him $100,000 every 6 months, and he would come back again, and I would get him more dollars, pretty much more funding. And every time I do it, I'm making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. And that was the opportunity in front of me that I kept ignoring for whatever reason. And I kept looking outside because grass looks greener, right? And it finally dawned on me, especially after that Amazon failure, that I have a massive business in front of me, but there were a lot of things broken with that business model at the company that I was working at, right? So the company didn't allow me to do any email marketing. They wouldn't allow me to do any online marketing. The only way that they would approve me to generate leads was for me to go out there and telemarketing, cold call, knock on the doors, meet with the business owners, go to networking events late at night or early in the morning. That was the only way to generate leads. And I was not in agreement with that. I thought it would be a better idea for me to break off, start my own business, right? So I left that job. I was making about $200,000 a year at that point. I was like the top salesperson of that department in New York City. So everyone was shocked that I made that decision. Many people thought that I was crazy or even spoiled, right? But I kind of saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I left and started working on generating leads for myself and for a few people that I know on business loans, because I noticed that there's a massive market and no one is really utilizing online marketing. Shortly after that, I had about a dozen different clients on retainer. They were working with me as their marketing company. I was charging them anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 per month on management fee. Right. So that yielded, that created an income stream bigger than anything else I haven't done prior to that point, like the credit card processing, real estate, and also the Amazon and everything else combined was not making that much as those retainers, because people are really interested in understanding how to do marketing for business loan brokers. I grew that company, but I hit a ceiling because now I needed to hire people, I needed to grow, and then people wanted to get more leads, and it was just consuming a ton of my time, and I was putting in probably 90 hours or so a week just to manage those handful of clients. And I got pretty tired of that. Meanwhile, I had more and more people approach me who are not from the industry wanting to know about business loan brokerage. And I kept telling them, hey, I only work with existing brokers, and you don't even know about these products. I couldn't really help you. A few of them said, listen, I would pay you to teach me, right? I said, no, I'm fine, I'm busy as is. But one of my assistants at the time, like I hired 2 employees. One of them was from overseas. Her name is Grace. If she's listening to me right now, I just want to salute to her for the suggestion. She said that, listen, boss, like these people really want to pay you. They want to spend time with you. Why don't you just give us a chance? Just charge them, do like an event and talk about what it is that we do here. I finally gave in and I agreed with her that I should do that. I put together an event for like 30 people or so, charged them. That was explosive. People wanted to they were dying to know about different lending options. They wanted to know about different funding options. They wanted to understand how people make money in this business. That's when I noticed that this is like the best kept secret. No one is really talking about this. When someone says business lending, automatically most people think of bank lending or mortgage lending or house lending or car lending. No one is talking about alternative lending industry. That's when it finally dawned on me that I'm in a massive industry that no one really knows about. And these people are just looking for a business opportunity to reach financial freedom, like the same way that I've been searching for something, right? Going back to my, after college years, I was fed up, right? And these people are going through the same thing. That's when I noticed that I wanted to train more people, and our agency turned into a training company of the things that we're doing. And now we're helping other people reach those goals. And that decision, combined with generating leads, helping others do the same thing pretty much, and grow their business to 6 figures and 7 figures. As you'll see from the link above, we have like literally hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of people who are pretty much repeating the same thing that we've been doing, and that led us to become an 8-figure company. So that was the 5th stream of income that I stuck with pretty much, and let go of everything else, sold all of my real estate. I know some of you will not agree with that, but I truly believe in focusing on one thing and one thing alone. Grass is going to be always going to be greener on the other side, but one thing I understood through personal pain and experience and tear and sweat, that if you just spread yourself too thin, you're not going to master anything. The way for mastery is diving into something deep enough and staying with it, right? That's the most important thing in business. Most people do not even give a new business 3 or 4 months. They just want to start something, move on to something else. So my advice to anyone who wants to build massive amount of revenue, build massive amount of value in the marketplace, and whatever it is that you do, that you stay with one thing and become the best at it. That's the only way to reach levels of success that you never imagined before. So those are my 5 streams of income that I created by age 30. And for the past couple of years, I've been only focusing on training business loan brokers and helping them generate massive amount of leads and helping them learn different lending options, from real estate to startup funding to funding existing businesses, funding businesses with bad credit or low credit or no credit, and helping them learn how to build business credit that's not tied to your social security number. So if you do have any questions about that program, below this video, in the video description, there's a link for you to go ahead and watch an entirely free training for you to understand how this industry works and what it is that we do at Business Lending Blueprint. And if you are interested in joining, at the end, there's a call to action for you to follow. If you do like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and comment below with your thoughts. I hope to see you on the next video. Take care now.